How could you take me to the hotel and undress me while I was drunk? You're the worst. She glared at me as she said this upon waking up in the morning. Wait, it's a misunderstanding. I tried to explain to her, but the next day, I was summoned. You need to take full responsibility for this. Kevin, can you set up this stand against the wall? Sure. And make sure the chair is out of the shot, put it in the corner. Got it. That day, I was at a photo studio. My name is Kevin. I'm a freelance photographer. Currently, I'm working for $15 an hour, taking photos of lingerie models for a product catalog. Today is the shoot for a new line of lingerie from a brand. With my digital camera, which I bought with a 2-year loan, I capture the beautiful lingerie-clad models through the lens. No matter how beautiful the models are, the most important thing is to focus on making the lingerie they're wearing look as appealing as possible. However, despite the glamorous atmosphere, I honestly found it a bit overwhelming. Alright, let's call it a day. Good job, everyone. Kevin, let's go through the photos in the office. Okay, I understand. After the models left, I packed up the props and equipment in the studio and then sorted through the photos in the office, concluding my day's work. Kevin, are you free tomorrow? Yeah, I am. One day, my high school friend, Mike, invited me out for a drink. Mike and I meet about once a month, and he listens to my daily complaints over drinks. The next day, after making plans with Mike, I showed up at our usual bar for the first time in a month, and Mike was already there. Hey, wait for me before you start. Just one drink ahead of you. But man, you look down. Mike grinned as he gulped down the foamy beer from his mug. Yeah, it's been tough at the current gig. I'm exhausted every day. Must be rough, surrounded by pretty girls all the time. I'm so jealous. What are you talking about? It's work. You have no idea how tough it is to deal with the models. Mike, who is a regular office worker, has always said he thinks my job as a photographer seems cool and artistic. You're lucky to get a steady paycheck every month. And you're lucky to do what you love for a living, right? Not really. The income is unstable, and it's mostly just rush jobs. Even as I started my usual complaints, Mike listened without a single look of annoyance. Seriously, it's not good to turn your passion into a job. It's better to keep what you love as a hobby. I downed the beer from the mug in one gulp and grumbled to Mike. What I really want to do is not commercial photography based on client demands like now. I want to create art photos that can express something through a single image. Since high school, I've loved photography. Back then, I sent some of my photos to a design company for feedback. Your photos capture the subject's expressions so naturally. They're amazing. You might become the next Richard Avedon or Annie Leibovitz someday. Really? Yeah, if you keep honing your skills, you'll definitely become a great photographer. Being praised like that, I decided to pursue photography seriously as a career. However, after attending a vocational school to learn photography techniques and knowledge, I started relying too much on technique and couldn't capture the true essence of my subjects. Your photography skills are solid, but there's something missing. I think you're better suited for commercial photography than art photography. Commercial photography. Since vocational school, that's how my photos have been evaluated. So, reluctantly, I had no choice but to make commercial photography my profession. Lately, Mike has been sighing every time I complain during our meetings. In high school, you were so enthusiastic about photography, but now it seems like you're playing it safe. People change, Mike. We're 32 now. We have to compromise. The waiter brought the drinks and placed 2 beers in front of us. Besides, once you realize your own limits, you start to see the end of the road. What are you talking about? We're still in our 30s, it's too early to give up. Lately, you've been complaining a lot. Come on, have a drink. Mike poured me a beer. Although he usually just listens, sometimes he gives me a little nudge like this. Mike told me about our high school reunion. He was put in charge of organizing it and asked me to take photos of the event. I wasn't enthusiastic about it, but since he offered to pay, I reluctantly agreed, thinking of it as a way to earn some extra cash. The next month, I stood in front of an old-fashioned bar, about a 5-minute walk from the station. As I passed the sign that read Empire High School Reunion and entered the designated room inside the establishment, I found about a dozen alumni bustling around. No one approached me, so I looked around for Mike. I spotted him in the corner talking to some classmates and walked over. "Oh, you're late. It'll start in about 15 minutes, so just find a spot to sit." "Where are you sitting?" "I'm at the front left." "Okay." Mike is almost only my close friend. I secured the seat next to him and started setting up my camera. About 20 minutes later, the reunion began. Everyone seemed to be having fun reminiscing about old times. Mike, as the organizer, was busy moving around and couldn't stay seated. Since I didn't have any close friends around, I silently focused my lens on my classmates. After a while, Mike asked everyone to share updates on their lives. Many had graduated from college and were working at big companies, some were married and stay-at-home moms, others were running family businesses. Everyone seemed to be following their own paths. The most notable among them was another organizer, Olivia. Standing tall and speaking confidently, Olivia looked as beautiful as ever. After graduating high school, she attended an art college, became a fashion designer, and then went independent. Now, she's the CEO of a lingerie company. Olivia was undoubtedly the most successful among us. "Wow, you're a CEO. That's amazing. I saw your ad the other day." "That was your company?" Everyone was captivated by Olivia, with a mix of admiration and jealousy. Amidst the excitement, Mike called on me to speak next. It was hard to follow Olivia, so I quickly and quietly mentioned my current work before sitting down again. No one seemed to be listening to me, they were still engrossed in Olivia's story. I picked up my camera and scanned the room again. My eyes met Olivia's, who was looking at me. I quickly raised my camera and pretended to take photos, turning to capture the scene through the viewfinder. But Olivia was still looking at me. It reminded me of the past when she used to look at me the same way. Feeling Olivia's gaze, I continued photographing the excited classmates. About 3 hours later, the reunion ended. Everyone was chatting outside the venue, reluctant to part ways. They split into groups heading home and those going to a second round of drinks. Mike invited me to the second round, but I declined, saying it wasn't part of the deal. Mike didn't push further and led the group to the second venue. Feeling a bit guilty towards Mike, I decided to head home. I didn't drink much. Maybe I'll grab a drink near home. As I thought about this, I noticed a woman lying on a bench near the park. Sleeping here will make her sick, and she's really drunk. Wait, is that? Getting closer, I realized it was Olivia, her face flushed. "Hey, Olivia, are you okay?" No matter how much I called or shook her, she showed no sign of waking up. She must have had a lot to drink. "My place is too far, and I don't know where she lives. What should I do?" Looking around in distress, I spotted a hotel neon sign. "Well, let's go there for now." I managed to carry Olivia to the nearby hotel. Inside the room, as I laid Olivia on the bed, she started moving and groaning. "Ugh, it's so hot." She suddenly began undressing. "Hey, wait. Don't undress here." In my panic, Olivia ended up in her underwear, then fell asleep face down. Geez, what a mess. I grabbed a bathrobe from the closet and covered Olivia, noticing her lingerie. "This is..." I put a blanket over her and laid her down properly on the bed. "Duh." I plopped onto the sofa and lit a cigarette. Phew. Exhaling a long puff, I glanced at Olivia's sleeping face. She looked peaceful, like a child. Seeing her sleep reminded me of high school memories. Once, when I went up to the rooftop to take pictures of the view, I found Olivia crying by the fence. Back then, Olivia was the head of the student council, enforcing school rules strictly among classmates. This made some classmates resent her, and they would badmouth her within earshot. They used to tease her about her body. Though Olivia had a pretty face, she had thick legs and a boxy waist, leading classmates to call her Tank. She seemed strong on the outside, but in private, she would cry quietly. Remembering this, I must have fallen asleep. Ah. What? Where am I? The next morning, I woke to a sudden scream. Dazed, I looked towards the bed to see Olivia glaring at me. Kevin? This is a hotel, right? Yeah, you were passed out drunk in the park, so I brought you here. Did you undress me? You're awful. Olivia wrapped the blanket around herself, glaring at me with fury. Olivia, calm down. I didn't do anything. I tried to calm her and explained everything again, slowly. She listened, still suspicious. Anne? Olivia, the lingerie you're wearing. What about it? It's from my company. Do you really want to see it that badly? She tightened her grip on the blanket wrapped around her body. No, it's not that. I see enough of it at work, believe me. Then, what is it? Well, the other day, a model said something interesting. I started to tell Olivia about a model I had recently worked with, while she listened with a puzzled look. I'm in this line of work, so people say all sorts of things. But when I wear this brand's lingerie, I feel so protected. It's like, it makes me feel the most beautiful I can be. It gives me so much confidence. Look, I can even do this in front of you, Kevin. She said that and then twirled around in her lingerie, striking a pose. Olivia quietly listened to my story. And it's not just her. This lingerie is really popular among models right now. Many of them are using it. Really? For some reason, Olivia looked down and fell silent. What's wrong? I wanted to create lingerie that supports the wearer's heart. I see, it did get through. Tears welled up in Olivia's eyes. Are you crying, Olivia? I'm sorry, it's just... I'm so happy. Olivia. Kevin, you know, right? They used to make comments about my body back in school. Yeah. I remember. They said it so I could hear. I used to get really down about it. I tried not eating or running to lose weight, but my body shape didn't change. I fell silent, unsure of what to say. As I looked into clothes that made me look thinner, I started wanting to design something that people could wear with confidence. That's why I chose this path. I see. I may look confident, but I actually don't have much confidence in myself. It's funny, isn't it? Someone like me running a company. Olivia laughed while wiping her eyes with the blanket. I kind of figured. Remember that time in high school when you were crying on the rooftop? I thought you were trying to act tough. What? But you know, if your designs give people confidence, you should have more confidence in yourself. Maybe you're right. Of course. Hey, let's head out. Yeah. After Olivia finished getting dressed, we walked to the station together. She got into a taxi. Thanks for last night. Kevin, by the way. What is it? As Olivia started to say something, the taxi door closed and it drove off. Watching the taxi leave, I thought about Olivia's passion for her work. I felt embarrassed about my own attitude towards my job. I decided to put my heart into my work like Olivia, starting the next day. Move that a little to the side. And lower the left light a bit. Hey, look down slightly. Yes, that's it. What's up with Kevin? He seems like a different person. He never used to give so many directions. Did something happen? From the next day, I started focusing not just on the products the models wore but also on the overall composition. Ensuring each photo told a story. During a break after the morning shoot, Olivia's secretary approached me. She asked if I could visit Olivia's company after today's shoot. I agreed and finished work early in the evening to head to Olivia's company. When I arrived, an employee escorted me to the CEO's office. Olivia stood up as I entered and motioned for me to sit on the sofa in the center of the room. I sat down, feeling a bit nervous. Olivia took something out of a drawer and sat down in front of me. Thanks for yesterday. I'm sorry about earlier. I just misunderstood. No, I should have tried harder to wake you up at the park. This was taken by you, right? She placed a lingerie catalog from another company on the table, which I had photographed. Of course, it's well done. For business, sure. But you're not satisfied? No. I still want my photos to convey a message, even if they're for product catalogs. As I said this, Olivia mentioned she had a favor to ask. Apparently, they are planning a big fashion show and have invited a famous model. They want me to become the exclusive photographer for Olivia's company. I'm a freelancer, so I'd be happy to if you want me. And one more thing, I'd like you to take my photos occasionally. Photos of you? Olivia returned to her desk, took out a photo from the drawer, and showed it to me. It was a photo I had taken of her in high school. Yes, it's that photo of Olivia taken on the school rooftop. In the picture, Olivia is gazing into the distant sky with tears streaming down her cheeks. Back then, when I heard the shutter sound and turned around, I saw you and was shocked because you took the photo suddenly. Yeah, sorry about that. But you looked so picturesque staring at the sky, I didn't want to miss that moment. You'd get arrested for that now, you know? Although she pouted, I could tell she wasn't truly angry. You told me back then to stop pretending. It made me realize you understood me. Well, we were in the same class, so I watched over you a lot. I've been keeping an eye on you since then. So that's why I always felt her gaze. This photo is my treasure. You've seen the real me twice now, so you better take responsibility for it. She said this playfully. I had seen Olivia cry twice. Once with her beautiful, tear-streaked face in high school and once more with her passionate tears about her work. Both times had moved me deeply. I understand, I'll take responsibility. I'm counting on you. We both smiled at each other. A few days later, Mike and I were selecting photos from the reunion at our usual bar. Kevin, you haven't been complaining lately. What's up? Are you sick or something? No, it's not like that. Everything's normal. I see. You know, when I became the reunion organizer, Olivia asked me to make sure you attended. What? Olivia did? Yeah, she said, I want to see Kevin. Can you make sure he attends? Mike, you don't sound like her at all. Did something happen between you two in the past? What are you talking about? Nothing happened. Ha, you're using chili oil. The soy sauce is over here. Are you in a panic? Mike kept teasing me, making the photo selection take much longer than planned. Years later, I was at a studio for a magazine interview. Olivia sat next to me, looking slightly nervous. We were there because Olivia's lingerie designs, popular among models, had become a trend among general consumers. The extensive designs catered to various body types, and its fashion-forward appeal had gained international recognition, with plans to expand sales to Europe soon. And several models featured in Olivia's lingerie catalog had started to gain fame as celebrities and actresses. It's rare for lingerie models to become famous, and word had spread in the industry that they looked their best when photographed by me. Lately, I've been inundated with requests from talent agencies to shoot photo books. As Olivia's company's exclusive photographer, we were both scheduled for an interview today. Did you prepare some cool comments for today, Ms. Smith? I'll just answer normally. Can you handle the responses well, Mr. Photographer? I might not be able to because I'm disappointed about something today. Ha! What happened? Ha! I'm disappointed that I can't capture you looking nervous. I'm not nervous at all. I'm used to these kinds of interviews. Really? But if you keep gripping that handkerchief so tightly, it'll get all wrinkled. Mind your own business. Alright, it's time. Are you both ready? And so, we began sharing our thoughts on our work in front of the TV cameras.